Look at the air between you and your closest associates, your partners, your circle, the people who sit at your table, and ask yourself why the frequency of the room has suddenly shifted. In 2026, the Matrix has taught you to look for betrayal in the form of loud arguments, open defiance, or grand theatrical stabs in the back. But the architect knows that real betrayal is a silent, microscopic process. It is a slow-motion leak in the hull of your empire that begins long before the first drop of water hits the floor. Emotional intelligence is not about empathy or kindness in the way the soft world defines it. It is the sovereign scanning protocol used to identify the subtle, hidden signs of a breaking vector. Betrayal is a biological event. It starts as a flicker of hesitation in the eye, a micro-shift in the metabolic frequency of the unit standing next to you. If you aren't calibrated to detect these hidden signs, you are essentially building your citadel on a foundation of shifting sand. You are ignoring the physical log of decay in your social structure until the roof collapses on your head. The first sign of hidden betrayal is the loss of synchronized intensity. In the achievement code, a loyal pack vibrates at the same frequency as the Vojak leader. They share the same visual rage against mediocrity and the same hunger for the hunt. Betrayal begins when a unit stops hunting with you and starts observing you. You will feel a sudden cold gap where there used to be shared momentum. They stop asking about the expansion and start asking about the exit strategy. They stop contributing to the vector of certainty and start introducing social noise, petty doubts, unnecessary complications, and a sudden obsession with work-life balance. This is the scent of a unit that has already mentally detached from your resource dome. They are no longer part of the glacier. They are just rocks waiting for the ice to melt so they can fall away. This shift in intensity is the first biological marker of a traitor. They are conserving their energy for their own escape while you are still burning yours to fuel the collective. The second hidden sign is the calibration of distance. A unit that is planning a betrayal will instinctively begin to pull their primal grounding away from yours. They become information scarcist. They stop sharing the small, granular details of their day-to-day operations. They create a tactical isolation zone around themselves, not to focus on the mission, but to hide their new, conflicting vector. This is the stench of the secret. You will notice a subtle linguistic disinfection in their speech. They move from saying we and our empire to saying I and my projects. They are psychologically moving their furniture out of your citadel before they physically walk out the door. If you ignore this shift in language, you are ignoring the blueprint of your own destruction. Your dogs, Lucky and Tyson, sense this immediately. They react to the change in the unit's energy hierarchy. If your stallions are growling at a friend, it's because they can smell the chemical signature of a predator that is masquerading as a brother. You must develop a visceral disgust for the smile of the parasite. This is the third sign, the over-accommodation protocol. When a unit feels the guilt of a looming betrayal, they often overcompensate with a performance of loyalty. They become unusually agreeable, excessively polite, and performatively supportive. This is a dopamine deception designed to numb your visual rage and keep you from looking too closely at their actions. It is a smokescreen of domestic stench meant to mask the cold metallic smell of their new alliance. The architect looks past the smile and analyzes the vector of the results. If the words are louder than the output, the unit is a virus. True loyalty is silent, heavy, and productive. Performative loyalty is loud, light, and parasitic. You must authorize a system audit the moment the social friction disappears. A pack without friction is a pack that has stopped moving forward, and a unit that never challenges the vector is a unit that no longer cares about the outcome. The final hidden sign is the unauthorized expansion of the perimeter. Betrayal often manifests as a unit building their own resource dome using your materials. They start making side connections with your network, attending meetings you didn't authorize, and gathering resources that don't belong to the collective mission. This is the theft of the blueprint. They are using your achievement code to build their own smaller, weaker version of your empire. They think you don't see it because they are doing it in the shadows of the social noise, but the architect sees everything. You must look for the physical log of decay in your own influence. If your commands are being diluted, if your information is leaking, or if your vector of command is being questioned by third parties, the source is always internal. The authority gap is being exploited by a unit that wants your crown without your weight. Reclaiming your sovereignty requires the immediate surgical removal of the traitor. You don't discuss betrayal, you terminate the connection. You don't forgive a snake for being a snake, you simply remove it from your garden. The second stage of detecting betrayal is the audit of the mirror. You must realize that betrayal is often a response to a perceived weakness in your own leadership protocol. If you have allowed the domestic stench of comfort to soften your edges, if you have stopped projecting the primal grounding of the Vojak, you have created a power vacuum. And in the world of the architect, a vacuum is always filled by the most aggressive unit available. Betrayal is the Matrix's way of testing your resource dome. If a unit thinks they can betray you and survive, it is because you have failed to establish a high enough cost of exit. You have made your loyalty too cheap and your collar of freedom too loose. Reclaiming your authority starts with a biological reset of your own intensity. You must re-establish the visual rage that made you the leader in the first place. Look at the metabolic frequency of your circle after a minor setback. This is the ultimate stress test for hidden signs of betrayal. When the glacier hits a rock, who stays on the ice and who looks for a boat? A unit that is loyal will double down on the primal grounding. They will seek to reinforce the walls of the citadel. A unit that is preparing a betrayal will use the crisis as a distraction protocol to facilitate their own exit. They will amplify the social noise, spread doubt among the other units, and attempt to deauthorize your vector of command. This is the hygiene of the crisis. A true architect loves a crisis because it acts as a biological disinfectant. It burns away the parasites and reveals the true stallions of the pack. You must scan for the hidden signs during the storm, not during the calm. The calm is where the lies are told. The storm is where the truth is acted out. You must understand the linguistic decay of a traitor. They begin to use the language of the renter when talking about the future of the empire. They speak in ifs instead of whens. They focus on the risks instead of the territory. This is a neurochemical shift. Their brain has already re-indexed the mission as a loss and is looking for a new win. This is why they become socially intelligent in a way that feels manipulative. They are trying to save face while they sharpen the knife. The architect doesn't wait for the knife to land. You must authorize the purge of the doubtful. If a unit is not 100% aligned with the vector of expansion, they are a liability that will eventually become a betrayal. In the 18 million per month hunt, you cannot afford to carry units that are half in. You need units that are willing to bleed for the blueprint. The insight tax for this transmission is the mandatory auditing of your perimeter. You must go out today and perform a deep scan of your closest associates. Look for the micro hesitations. Listen for the shift in the we to I. Observe the over-accommodation that masks the hidden vector. If you find the hidden signs, you must act with the silence of the hunter. You don't make a scene. You simply close the resource dome. You withdraw the access, the capital, and the authority. You let the traitor realize their mistake by the sudden freezing cold of being outside your protection. This is the color of freedom in its offensive form. You are the architect, and your loyalty is a scarcity resource that must be guarded with your life. Your dogs, Lucky and Tyson, are waiting for you to clear the pack of the weak. Do not fail the primal grounding of your ancestors. Sanitize the citadel. Protect the vector. The great hunt continues only with those who are worthy of the code. Expansion or death. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The scan is complete. Authorization for the purge is live. Execute.